Adam Fisher is considered one of the top investors in Israel since 2007. He has managed Bessemer's Israel office, where he has invested in more than 30 Israeli startups. We spoke to Adam about the war and how he and his portfolio founders are navigating this conflict.
My immediate family is fine. I'm too old, as it seems, to be called up to the reserves. My children are still too young, but we have friends and colleagues and family members who are either have been called up.
And what is life like right now, Adam? You work in Tel Aviv. You live right outside Tel Aviv. What is life like right now, just day to day, as this conflict rages on?
Well, I would say it operates on two incongruous planes, if you will. On the one hand, a lot of things continue as usual. I mean, the country's not static. It's moving. You know, things are happening. People are working. On the other hand, some things are not happening. Schools are shut. People have less productive hours in the day because they're very distracted, as you can imagine. Whether it's the occasional air raid siren or the trickle of more horrifying news from 3 or 4 days ago.
You know, you're a venture investor, Adam. It almost feels, a bit uncomfortable to talk about business and investing as war rages. But I want to ask you just about the Israeli tech community. It is, of course, a global powerhouse. How is it navigating this conflict, Adam?
Well, I think foremost, the community is actually very focused on the home front. There's tremendous unity among the Israeli tech community. We're coming together and kind of mobilizing as individuals, as companies. We're not really separate from the rest of Israeli society. We may be privileged, but we also served in the military and have children in the military, and are attending funerals on an almost daily basis. So we're not separate. On the other hand, we have means, both in terms of time and funds, to mobilize in a way that can also help the home front, and actually to also help reservists who've been called up with little preparation.
And I'm sorry.
I don't know if you're asking more on the business side. That is a unique challenge. It's not one that is entirely foreign to us. People are called up to reserves on a regular basis, not to this same extent. But Israelis do know how to deal under difficult conditions and to recover from hardships. And while there might be less productive hours, we make those hours that we do have, they become more productive because we have so much to do. The other thing is that Israeli high tech, as much as it's Israeli high tech, our markets are abroad, our customers are abroad, and I think as far as they're concerned, they would probably feel that it's business as usual.
And so, as a venture investor, Adam, it sounds like are you still able, to meet with founders, to write checks, to meet your obligations right now and responsibilities?
Well, I think that's more of a question of priorities. And so that's not my priority right now. And again, that is somewhat of a privilege. I don't need to find an investment every week. I've had my share of deals this year. I did sign a term sheet last week that I'm going to fulfill. But I'll be honest in that the last few days, I have not been working as many venture capitalists have not. I think we're in an enviable position where we can take a break from work and focus on fundraising for the home front and in getting things done where we can through our network, through our access to capital, and whatever other kind of organizational skills we may have.
Are you concerned at all, Adam, about any kind of brain drain after this, that Israeli entrepreneurs, engineers, technologists, that some significant number of them may decide, you know what, time to pick up, move to the US, move to Europe?
No, not at all. It's never been a reason to leave Israel. I think that Israelis feel much more unity in these last few days than they have for a very long time. They feel much more connected to the country. You can see it in the number of Israelis who are getting on planes from the UK and Canada and the United States to come back in order to do what they can. Many of them are coming back because they received a draft notice, but they're doing so enthusiastically and using their own money to pay their way back. So brain drain is the least of our concerns. I have no doubt that when this is over, whether it's weeks or a month, Israel as a country, the startup nation will rebound as if it has never happened. We obviously won't forget what has happened. It has changed. It's already changed the country. But these are the types of this is the type of adversity that allow the country to exist in the first place, and ultimately allows it to thrive. When you face that and you overcome it, you emerge much stronger.
And my last question, Adam, there are American tech companies, obviously, with significant presence in Israel, Microsoft to Apple to Intel. Any concern from you that those companies stay committed to Israel after this war?
No, there as well. As long they're here for the employees. As long as they have good employees and have access to them, they'll be happy to stay here. Those are some of the most productive employees in their organizations. The companies that you mentioned are very supportive of their Israeli employees, understand what they're going through, the anguish, having to deal with a large percentage of people drafted or just otherwise distracted. And we appreciate that. So there's been an outpouring of support from the U.S. tech community, and we're very appreciative of it.
Our thanks to Bessemer's Adam Fisher.